Bottom right in the blue from the Shopify Rebellion, it's ByuN. Upper left in the red from Team Liquid. In this TVT, it's Cure. And before I got into this game, I said, who wins, who loses, how many maps do we go to, how many proxies are there? And it turns out the answer is at least one, because we're gonna have a double proxy barracks set up here from Cure very early on into this game. Game one of our series. It's a TVT. You want to set some tempo. You'd love to set some tempo. And if Cure can take a pretty a nice, quick and easy map one victory off of ByuN, he's gonna be very happy about that one, putting pressure on as much as possible. So for now, gas, double racks, gas. There's a world where this is Marauder play. You get a tech lab pretty quickly. There's also just kind of the world where you go Reapers as well. And for now, it's going to be single Reaper. So yeah, it's just going to be Reapers out of Cure. Generally, right, if you get the double gas a little bit faster, it's going to be Marauders. If you kind of do what Cure did there, it's going to be Reapers. So double Reaper from Cure, single Reaper from ByuN. He's not proxied, so you don't have that. But Cure's aware of where the barracks is, and he's aware of what the opening is as well. And he knows, most importantly, what his timing is. He knows when the factory's done. And he knows that eventually factory is what solves things. You get a Cyclone, you get a Hellion. That makes life, suddenly these Reapers are not nearly as good. But for now, ByuN, he's running his first Reaper on the other side of the map, and Cure is pooling. Which actually I don't like. I think because ByuN's active on the map right now, I think you just want to dive your Reapers in quickly, as quick as possible, but he's just going to wait for two. And for now, that first SCV should go down. So no natural on the low ground for ByuN. You don't get that one. That one is very much illegal. But for now, two Reapers versus one on the high ground. Hellion's going to get made here quick as you please. Looking to target down the Mule maybe. Now gets on top of the Reaper. Doesn't get damage done. Well, gets damage done, but doesn't kill anything. In fact, Cure, he takes a lot of damage on that first Reaper. And this is ballsy. Opting into Reaper shenanigans against ByuN of all players is a bit of a scary endeavor. So at the end of the day, this build that I feel like it could have gotten done more for Cure, it only gets an SCV. It doesn't even get a Mule. It delays the command center a little bit, but not a lot. And behind this, Cure is gonna have to float back or float over eventually. He's building a couple more Reapers, going up to 5 just because it's 6 one-shots, but 5 gets you roughly there, especially if you had some Hellions on top. So he's going up to 5 Reapers. He's getting that natural done on location. He will block the natural of ByuN for a while, but ByuN, look what ByuN's got. He's got a couple Marines. He's got Cyclones on the way. He's going to be able to break this barracks down fairly quickly. So Cure is buying some time. He's buying some room to develop his economy back up to catch up on ByuN a little bit. And that is what he has to be doing, right? Because the way this game has gone has not been auspicious for Cure. His proxy got just about nothing done. Really very little done. It's actually, I'm a little surprised to see ByuN not committing the Cyclone into this to knock this down, because the Cyclone's going to kill this more quickly than anything else. But I guess he's worried, as there we go, the Cyclone's going to attack. Not lock on though. But I guess he's worried about exactly what Cure's going to try to dive into right now, knowing that ByuN has to commit to the natural. He's going to dive into the main base with 5 Reapers here. ByuN, he's positioned well enough. He's got the medevac. He's got the Marines. The Reapers are not going to get much of anything done. And now Cure, he's got his natural here, and he's got these Reapers on the bottom side. So he's got ByuN pinned back just a little bit. But the Reapers dies. They dive up into the main base. There's nothing there whatsoever. So 4 Reapers go down. ByuN's got this drop on the other side with Reapers and Hellions, and this is enough right here. 2 Reapers, 2 Hellions. It's enough to one-shot drone, or one-shot, not drones. Well, it's enough to run one-shot workers. So Cure, he's got to drop double Cyclone on the other side, adding into these Reapers as well. ByuN, though, he's got first mover's advantage on the drop into the main base, looking for lineups. Workers are falling. He's going to get mules as well. Medevac's going to get out. One-way trip for the Hellions and the Reapers, but it's getting significant damage. 6 SCVs go down. Not going to be a 7th, but 6th workers die. And now in this main base, there's already a Cyclone here. Good lock on from ByuN. A single SCV dies. ByuN not taking too much damage, getting damage done on the other side, but these Reapers may have something to say about that. And actually, yeah, 4 workers are going to go down. The Reapers are actually being really efficient. 5 SCVs go down. And ByuN has still got a tiny bit of a macro lead, but that's a lot of damage that Cure is able to find on the backside. Marines are taking as much damage as they can. Cyclones are going to try to win this fight, but not quite enough. The lock-on is just a little bit too good. Cyclone's a little bit too low. And as Setsuno Mio says, wait, we got a proxy from Cure and not from ByuN? Yeah, we did. And actually, that shouldn't be all that surprising. ByuN loves his aggressive plays, certainly, but Cure proxies a ton in this matchup. He really likes the proxy Reaper play, whether it's 1 racks, 2 racks. Very occasionally, we'll see Marauders, but not all that often. But Cure loves to set tempo in TVT. It's kind of funny because he's so solidly macro in the other matchups, but he actually really likes to proxy on this in this setup. So for now, he's got an army at the front. He's got this drop on the left side. ByuN is well set up defensively. 1-1 on the way. Stim getting started. No Stim for Cure. Really on the horizon whatsoever. Well, actually, it's going to get started now, but there is somewhat of a timing differential where ByuN's going to have Stim. He's going to have all these upgrades, and that's not something that Cure's going to have. In fact, even with the Stim being tied up well enough, I mean, there's a 40-second window where ByuN has 1-1 and his opponent will not. So that's what we're looking at now, right? 1-1 versus no 1-1. Combat shields versus no combat shields, maybe. That might line up what we're looking for, depending on how ByuN decides to make the fight happen. But for now, well, this drop is still... ByuN is well aware of this drop potential. He's actually got his own drop, just dogging his footsteps a little bit, making sure he's paying attention to exactly what Cure's doing. And missile turrets are going to go up. So third base on the way. Missile turrets on the edge of the map, on the edge of the main base, just to try to make sure that ByuN stays safe. And Cure... well, again, he's still the one that has to be aggressive here. He's still the one that has to go and really put the pedal to the metal because he is behind. No, make no mistake about it. Now, Cyclones are going to try to get on top. Auto turrets get dropped, so the Ravens stay alive. And in fact, it's going to be a dead Cyclone. But this attack from Cure does have promise. It's not perfect. Certainly not. And it is more Cyclones than it is anything else. But there are 3 Ravens here. There are 2 tanks here. The shutdowns are going to happen in earnest. And now the question is whether the Cyclones can beat the Marines. I don't think so, actually. More Marines are going to get dropped on top. Stim is done. This break is not going to happen. Cure loses just about everything. And yeah, Marines die. Who the hell cares? The Ravens are still alive for ByuN. He's going to knock down every single... well, maybe not the last Cyclone. His bio's going to start... yeah, it's not a good lock-on. So maybe this last Cyclone survives. But everything else is just an unmitigated disaster here. Now, ByuN rallies across. He's got his own Cyclones. Has to guide backwards a little bit because there is a Cyclone here. And there are Marines here. But he's got 1-1 done. Combat shield, it's not there just yet. But I am so surprised that we didn't see ByuN try to get a little bit more aggressive with this. This is a very wounded Raven with minimal energy. I guess his Ravens don't have a ton of energy either. But he's got this supply lead. He's got this tech lead. He's got this upgrade lead. You would expect ByuN to go and try to get the siege up. But I guess not super confident on how homogenous his reinforcements are, how set up his reinforcements are. Doesn't have combat shields. Doesn't know when his opponent's upgrades complete. So you're always a little bit worried that you're trying to hit into an anti-timing. And if you're going to do that, you'd rather have combat shields. So ByuN's got a 2-2 on the way. That was pretty heavily delayed. Classic ByuN. But even still, this army is ready. It's got 2 interference matrix. It's very well set up to fight. So high ground is there, certainly from Cure. But tanks are going to get shut down for the time being. ByuN now thinks about stimming into the natural. Just runs right by this tank. Couple more are going to try to siege up, but ByuN into the natural. Well, that's a bit of a problem. Cure is dead. Actually, that's what's going to happen. ByuN takes game 1. Cure decided that that proxy was just not aggressive enough in the first game. Not nearly aggressive enough. So we're going to proxy even closer in game number 2, right on the Reaper Cliff. This one. Who knows? Maybe this one works out. I don't know. Not yet, at least. But Cure single gas for the time being. So definitely you're looking at proxy Reaper on this setup as we see 50 gas done. So enough gas for 2 Reapers, mining just a little bit more. And he's going to just try to beeline into the main base with these Reapers. ByuN, now the downside of proxying where he is if ByuN takes the Reaper Cliff across, which he might, this gets scattered out so quickly. So Cure, ideally, he scouts in. Actually, he's just sending the SCV back home. I was going to say, ideally, he distracts the Reaper by sending an SCV onto the low ground and saying, oh, yeah, go come kill me. Don't worry about it. But the first Reaper's done. And I guess Cure's probably going to pool for 3 once again. So he's got the first Reaper out. He has second, third on the way. SCV, of course, going back home. We should see a factory going up fairly quickly behind this. But ByuN, he's not. He thinks if there's a proxy, it's somewhere else. He's not scouting right in front of his base. So once again, he's going to get caught a little bit off guard. But he got his first Reaper, second one on the way, dives in. This is a problem, though. They're going to delay the factory for quite a while. SCVs have to get pulled into this. We've seen ByuN win this before. The 1 Reaper versus 2, somehow, sometimes we see him still win it. The SCV body block, he's incredible. And he does it again. It's 2 Reapers versus 1 right now. Yeah, certainly he doesn't have the production of Reapers, but it's 2 versus 2. He's got a Hellion on the way. He's going to kill this SCV. I mean, sure, Cure will, but ByuN has held this once again. The SCV body blocking, the micro killing the Reaper is just, yeah, this is seeing ByuN do this time after time is wild that we get to, ByuN's Reaper control is just second to none. Many Terran players would have died to that right then. So we're gonna see the barracks go up, and it's gonna try to distract this Marine. Maybe Cure's gonna look for a dive in of a different angle. ByuN is wise to these tricks. He knows what's up. He's got Reapers. He's got Hellions. The Reaper play is not gonna get much of anything. Cyclone's on the way as well. He's got his third base into the main because obviously he can't put it on the low ground just yet. And well, ByuN's just gonna dive on top of these Reapers. Hellions are gonna get some great shots. And yeah, this attack, Cure taps out. ByuN wins game number 2. That Reaper micro is just 10 out of 10. If at first you don't succeed, and at second time you don't succeed, try again. Game number 3, Cure's doing the same thing over again. Proxying just about as close to the main base as he did in Golden Aura on game number 2. ByuN did a really nice job of defending. That Reaper proxy could have killed ByuN. He delayed the factory. He was 2 Reapers to 1, but ByuN pulls the SCVs appropriately, gets a ton of damage, burst damage, actually, on top of the Reapers. And that was actually a result of a change that happened last patch, where they changed the worker acquisition range, I think. No, they did that this patch. Anyway, they dropped the damage point, I think it was, of workers last patch. So like your initial burst of worker damage is actually higher than it once was. So a bunch of SCVs attack, and all of a sudden the Reaper just gets almost bursted down. Cure was not even if you've had 6 months to get used to it. ByuN did a really nice job of making that happen. So we're gonna see the SCV retreat back home. Again, Cure pooling the Reapers. He's got 2 on the way. The factory is well positioned to defend against this. And ByuN with a Marine opening on the high ground doesn't see anything. He's just scouting the Reaper cliffs, but he doesn't see anything just yet. And actually, I kind of like this though, right? Going Marine into the Reaper means you get a much quicker factory, which means that when Cure decides to attack into you, you're pretty much going to have a Hellion on the way immediately. So like, this actually isn't all that bad. The Marine, of course, has to run away. He wishes he'd been holding the high ground, but damage is done. The natural is going to be delayed for a time being. The Hellion's already halfway done. Marines are on the way. Reapers are going to try to dive in here, but SCV pull is going to be good enough for now. And again, we saw how good ByuN is with his SCV. So there is this pressure timing where the Reapers do 2-shot SCVs, and that is annoying. But there's a Reaper, a Hellion, and a Marine. And with the SCVs being pulled on top of this, this should be fine. Certainly with the second Hellion now, it really is going to be manageable. But for now, like, damage is getting done here. 3 SCVs have hit the deck. ByuN chases things down. The Hellion's dead, repaired. Hellion's dead, actually. It's 2 Marines versus 3 Reapers. Cure's actually going to make this one work, I think. Even with we talk about the opening. Well, okay, Reaper's going to go down. It's 7 dead SCVs here. This is finally the damage that Cure wants. And he's just continuing to build more Reapers. Natural's on the way on the high ground now. ByuN had to cancel on the low ground. This is the damage that Cure's been looking for the last 3 games in this series. It hasn't worked twice. ByuN got extra greedy this time. And like, if he'd had a Marine on the high ground, I think he would have been fine. But Marine had to run away a little bit. So despite the Hellion timing being somewhat reasonable, ByuN's now down about 4 workers. His command center's not that much faster. The barracks is going to run into the main base, soak in some Marine shots so the Reapers can try to dive in and delay this command center even more. They're going to be able to make that happen. And with 5 Reapers on the map, I mean, this one shots Marines, this 2 shots SCVs. It's really hard to take this engagement. So Marines are just going to die very, very quickly. Hellions are going to die as well. Now, certainly the last of the Reapers seems like they're going to go down. Eventually they will. But Cure's built himself a nice little advantage in this game, number 3 of our series. He will not go gentle into that good night. Not just yet. In fact, his Cyclone dives in, gets a bunch of damage on ByuN, gets all the Marines down as well. And this... Okay, no, he doesn't have as good enough of a lock. No, he does. He knocks the lock. He gets the lock on. It works out well. Cure finally wins the game. We move to game 4. Makes me really curious about how this is going to go, though, is which base does Cure take? Does he take this gold base? It's weird, right? So you get 1 gas off of it. You can technically mine off this side and get a rich gas off of it. You float over. It's confusing. I don't know. It's going to take a moment to properly figure out how this goes. I think it's going to be matchup dependent. I think probably Cure takes this base just because gas is super important in the TVT. You want those tanks up. But ByuN, oh, he's going to take the gold. Okay, less gas, more minerals. And by the way, this is Command Center first as well. So standard Reaper expand. Barracks double gas coming out of Cure. Fine. Sure. Under 100%, understandable. ByuN is going CC Barracks double gas. He is going for the gold base. He's going for it quick. He's going for it fast. He's going for it as greedy as possible. And if he gets away with this, oh man, he's going to have so many minerals so early. Especially compared to Cure, who's going Barracks double gas factory. That's a very standard way to play, but on this map where ByuN is getting away with something, trying to be as greedy as possible. Yeah. Cure is pretty far behind economically. And now we're going to see the gold go down, so at least he's going to have that. But ByuN's double orbital is on the way at the same time. Factory's getting started. Marine's going to get made after the Reaper opener. And Cure's only got the 1 Reaper. He's not committing to much more than that. He's going to see main base. Okay, there's not a lot here. Mayback can get some damage done. 1 SCV is going to get... Not going to get dove upon because ByuN pulls the SCVs in time. And ByuN's Reaper, where is ByuN's Reaper? I don't know where it is, but for now, I mean, this is a lot of mining time lost. That's a lot of SCVs pulled off here to repair. But here come the Marines. There are 2 of them. This 1 Reaper one SCV will go down at the very end. ByuN did never repair that. Look at the block, though. Oh, with the supply depot. ByuN, you're brilliant. That's fantastic. I don't know if the Reaper dies. Okay, yeah. ByuN, just kill a Reaper with the depot. That's so good. And at the end of the day, ByuN will lose 1 SCV, but he's building 2 quicker. He's got his orbitals done faster. He's mining more off the gold faster. And that means this income graph spiking pretty hard for ByuN. Now the Cyclone on the other side, though, is going to have something to say about that one. That single unit can deny mining for quite a while. ByuN, I don't think he's got anything on the other side. ByuN, I'm sorry, I thought I could have sworn ByuN built a Reaper, but no, he did not build a Reaper. He just got a Marine out. As the Cyclone is going to get shoot back. It's taken enough damage, and with the positive repair that ByuN has, the Cyclone is not going to get that much more done. And behind this, ByuN adding in Liberators, adding in tanks. Seems like he's gearing himself up for a little bit of a push. Maybe just some harass with the Liberator, but to maybe trying to, again, and generally when you go for this CC first type ability, you're building it into a push. You're trying to take the economic advantage and immediately turn it into an actual game state advantage, an actual aggressive advantage, not just try to rely on going into the mid game faster. So for now, we're going to see a Cyclone drop into the main base. Cyclone on the left side will continue to harass, continue to be annoying as more SCVs from ByuN go down. Despite that, he still has that economic advantage, right? 34 to 33. He's mining from the gold a little bit faster. But Cure's doing a really nice job of equalizing things and making it a little bit harder for ByuN to do whatever it is he wants to do. And for now, we talked about maybe this is a push. The Liberator looks like it's just going to go to harass. We're not going to see some sort of 2-base tank Liberator play, it looks like. That's going to be really... We're going to hold off on that for the time being, but Liberator's going to have a pretty nice position on this gold base. There is no anti-air here whatsoever. So all the damage that ByuN has been taking, well, he just gets 3 SCVs. The drop on the right side is not going to win. Cyclone gets something happening. Cyclone loses there. And meanwhile, Cyclone's on the left side. Cure's going mass Cyclone. All right, so Cyclones are going to show up on the other side. They're going to be able to kite away. This Liberator does get, I guess, 7 total SCVs. Not bad there, ByuN. But this is mass Cyclone with Stim. As this tank's going to get locked down, even with the mass repair, the Cyclones will kill that. So the defensive tank that's trying to keep this mineral line from mining is going to go down. That there certainly is that. But I am really curious to see how this mass Cyclone bio play from Cure is going to work out. I know how it worked last. I know how it worked last patch. I cast a lot of Cure Cyclone TVT last patch, but I don't know how this one goes. See, so ByuN, he's heavy pressure's getting put on. It's going to be a while before he mines this out, so he can't really take advantage of that one. And tank's going to get shut down once again. Tons of Cyclones are going to show up. Do they have the? Oh, they can lock onto this command center. They can lock onto this command center and maybe force a lift, but the shutdown is not going to last long enough. And with the 2 tanks that are here, Cure's not going to really accomplish a ton with this. Okay. This drop into the main base is actually not much of a drop. It's just a medevac looking for scouting. And it's going to see the double drop here. It's going to see that there are 2 medevacs, and Cure just dives into the main base with all the Cyclones here. What a wild play. ByuN has to respond as quick as possible. Bio's going to show up. Stim's not done. And we saw 11, 12 SCVs go down. I think there was, no, he didn't get any structures. Just 11, 12 SCVs. Just 12 SCVs right there. 23 dead SCVs from ByuN in this game. This is a wild play. And the Cyclones onto the drops. They're not going to get the medevac. They will force it out. It's a ton of damage, and now dropping onto the tank. No, it's going to unsiege. Okay. Cure is swarming in this game. He is putting himself well positioned to take us into game number 5. This time, okay, that run by is not going to get much done. There are tanks defensively in the main base. There is that. And ByuN now, he's the one onto the other side of the map here with Cyclones, with Marines. He has Stim. Important to point out. I guess so too does his opponent. But he's lacking combat shields. It's only just now getting started. So the bio of Cure is actually going to be better in just a little bit. He's going to have combat shields done right now. So the bio is superior, even as we see something went down. Now, at this point, the bio is going to have to back up just a little bit. Even as more workers go down, the tank will fall. And this medevac, ByuN, oh man, Cure being very ballsy with that medevac, but ByuN is not quite on top of it. So he's not going to be able to snipe the medevac down. ByuN loses that sieged up position. He's down about 8 workers. Third base very far behind. 1-1 a little bit faster, but combat shields ameliorate that for the most part. So it's a minor lead for Cure in this game. Certainly when we talk about TVT, it's all about, can you defend against the aggression? If you can't attack, I guess, more important way to say that, if you're in the lead and you can't close it out and you cannot attack, does the lead even exist? Like, is it even real? And I would argue, no, it's not. Hello there, Farman official. Happy Monday afternoon for you, I guess. But anyway, ByuN's got his +2 upgrades on the way. Cure, does he have an armory? He does. He's just slow on his upgrades, so that's certainly something that ByuN can try to leverage to come back into this game. Again, the income disadvantage is not as bad as it once was. You know, it's 5 workers instead of the 8, the 10 that Cure opened up at one point. And now, once again, we got pressure on the right side. ByuN moving just a little bit faster. Cure's on the map as well, certainly. But ByuN is here faster. He's going to go show up on the sensor tower. Sends 1 Marine forward, tries to see what he can find. He's not going to get a lot, and ByuN has to be so careful with this. Cure is aware of where he is. He's moving in on the bottom side. He's got a Raven. He's got that shutdown available. Scan gets dropped. Cure wants to sledgehammer this down. Now the Raven's going to run forward. ByuN snipes it down. Wonderful snipe down. And that means the tanks are going to be able to get damage done. Yes, ByuN has to give this position up, but it's not nearly as much of a problem as it might otherwise have been. Those tanks get shut down. ByuN loses everything. He loses so much of his army. The stem on top is incredible. He doesn't trade out all that well, and then Cure probably runs across the map and ends the game. As it stands, Cure's got a powerful army. He's sitting up, what are we looking at? 4 tanks to 3, but ByuN, he's got a tank. He's got a Cyclone, or he's got a Cyclone here in this medevac. Marines are going to stem right on top of this tank, so the gold base is going to get to power, is going to get minorly diminished. 7 workers go down, but reinforcements from here are totally fine. So that is dealt with. 4th base on the way, but Cyclone's here. And Cyclones do have really good range, so it's going to start to slowly chip away at these Marines. As, oh, look at what ByuN's going to find. Those medevacs in the sky are dead. And all of a sudden, this game swings right around. ByuN's got his 4th base up. There's no pressure on the map for Cure whatsoever anymore. 2-2's going to be done for ByuN pretty quickly. Catches more of this army. 1 tank is sieged. 1 tank is sieged, but this is still a big deal. ByuN has done so much to stabilize this game, to equalize the backup. 2-2's done in 10 seconds. That's when he can fight. As he tries to run away, probably going to have to stim away again. ByuN's going to try to catch this down, but this is a very heavily stimmed ByuN setup. The tank's going to defend that one. And now ByuN, he's going to show himself on the other side. +2 is done. His ByuN is really strong. And he actually has this knocked down a little bit. So he's mined more out of this gold base because he took it earlier. So that means that, well, he can get attacked into, certainly, but also he can attack through that, counterattack through that. Both players lose their 3rd orbital. ByuN loses his E-base, but again, it doesn't really matter. He's got his upgrades done. That's fine. This drop is not going to find the planetary, or it's not going to get enough done against the planetary. Both players lose the gold base situation. ByuN's mined more out of the gold base, so probably better for him. And Cure continues to just steamroll onto the other side of the map. ByuN is very supply blocked. He is extremely supply blocked. So the army that you see is the army that you get for the time being. He's eventually going to build some supply depots and get himself the ability to build units once again. But for now, he really can't do so. And he's also down upgrades, right? 1-1. He's got 2-2 for Bio. Totally fine. He's lacking that +2 attack. Cure's got +3 attack on the way. This orbital is, ByuN was greedy. That's a 4th orbital. That's not a planetary right there. So 12 SCVs go down. ByuN, he's got a nice sieged up position, trying to get on top of these tanks, even short the attack upgrade. The splits are pretty solid. Getting on top of the tanks here, flanks from behind. I didn't see that coming. ByuN sweeps this aside. 12 SCVs down, certainly, but up 30 army supply. And he still has that 4th base, still looking at triple orbital. What is this? This is a planetary. The money from Cure with the mules is not nearly as good. The money is not. He's down. He's up 17 workers, but again, does not have that mule power. And he's down about 30 army supply as well. So ByuN, if you look to take advantage of this timing, yeah, income be damned. ByuN's army is really hard. Stems on top of the planetary, and with the tank count here, this should just go bang, bang, bang. 5 SCVs go down. The planetary's dead. Cure, he's got 2 orbitals. He's only mining from one of them. ByuN stems up the ramp as well. More medevacs will fall. And ByuN is just in a wonderful position to take the game at this point. Again, economy, not incredible. Everything else, beautiful for ByuN. As he looks to take this position on the left side, maybe start to knock down some of these E-bays. SCVs will fall. And he wants to siege up the tech. He wants to shut down these not even the reinforcing positions. He wants to shut down the add-ons. Drops onto the tank as well. Knocks one. It's not going to get that one. Okay. And ByuN now, north side, this extra base, this extra command center that is not anything, is going to get taken down. ByuN is being shadowed by these by the bio, so maybe not. But ByuN's also on a bit of a timer, even as he goes and knocks down 10 more SCVs and has to deal with this run by on the other side that is probably going to get this orbital. So ByuN's going to be a 2 orbital man as well. He's on a timer. He's got the supply lead, certainly. He's actually supply blocked once again, but 3-3 is, well, I mean, I guess the other timer is maybe shut down the eBay, but +3 armor's on the way. It's about halfway done. Cure's going to have that eventually. His bio is going to go and fight much stronger this game. Oh, that's so many reinforcements for ByuN. Baited Cure in a little bit, got a couple more tanks. And now if we look at this, 8 tanks to 3, 52 workers, or 52 Marines to 40. ByuN's gonna break up the ramp here. Tanks will fall down. More, yeah, they're all dead. This one is not gonna get a shot off. ByuN now sieges the main base. Cure, he's pretty dead at this point. There's not a lot remaining to him. Doom drop on the bottom side. Tanks are gonna unseize pretty quickly here. And Cure's not even going to try to drop on top of the tanks. Knows it's rather fruitless. Bio on the north side, so Cure's economy is going to be shattered very soon. This is not going to work out, even if all the tanks go down, which they probably will. ByuN's going to stem into the natural. He's going to find his way onto the north side with the last army. The army supply is 80 to 28. ByuN takes the series. Cure made him work for it, certainly, but ByuN, the better TVT player today. takes game number 4 and is your champion of EPT Korea at number 221.